Lights on. What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Come sit with y'all, man. Talk with y'all. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? My people. Cody, shout out. I'm going to try to shout out as many people on here as I can right now. Raheem _ Masood. What's up? Shout out Dominance MMA. Shout out Dominance MMA. Come on, man. Y'all already know. You know, my man Yasu Moon. Yeah, you already know the vibes. You know how we get down, you know. Barstool hat, you know, gorilla wear. If y'all ain't know gorilla wear, you know, we out here. You know, looking real smithy in the gorilla wear. All right, people, man. Big shout out, my brother, Ali Abdelaziz, my brother. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Hope everybody doing good. I don't want to pronounce that name. Shout out to you, my man. How's everybody doing on this happy quarantine Friday? You know, it's tough out here for everybody. But I want to talk to a special guest. You know, it's a special person that I want to talk to today. I've known this guy for a long time. And, you know, through the college scene, we both from out of state, but we both ended up going to college in Nebraska. And, you know, this is a special young man. I don't want to ruin it for y'all. I'm just going to let y'all meet him. Let's see if we can get it going. Let's see if we got it. Let me see if we got him.
Yo, what up, bro?
Oh, we got him. What up, champ?
The champ. I used to be the champ until you became the champ now, bro. You're the new champ.
What up, champ? Hey, you a champ in that field over there. Everybody knows it.
Bow.
All heads bow. Everybody bow and they confess. You know, you the champ over there. You've done some.
Bro, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Man, just real quick, just an update, man. I've known you since, I've known you before you knew me.
Which is crazy. I'm trying to think of when, like, we first formally met. Obviously, I watched you when you were at Kearney, wrestled. You and Dwyer used to have some battles.
Yeah, me and Dwyer had some good battles.
All through that scene and then get into the OTC. And you were living at the OTC for a few years, weren't you?
Yeah, I lived there for 2 years. I remember, you know, asking you, yo, why you don't move here? You was like, nah, bro.
No one lives there anymore. Only Jaden Cox is the only freestyler guy that lives there. And so you guys were you were the end of the resident program at the OTC. Now everybody just lives at RTCs. They stay at their alma maters and train there full time.
Yeah.
You
Okay, real quick, before we get into it, man, I need to let them know. You know, everybody watching right now around the world, if you guys don't know who I'm talking to right now, this is the man, the myth, the legend. This is Mr. All I See Is Gold, and that's true. Mr. Jordan Burroughs, wrestling superstar. I mean, has kind of, you know, every once in a while you get guys that come in different eras and then they transcend the sport and they make it something new. You know, I think that's kind of how, you know, John Smith was, Dan Gable was, Cale Sanderson was, and then you got the Greg Jones, and then you got the, you know, the Kenny Mondays and Kevin Jacksons, and now you are that new wave of that. you came in and
Thank you.
you changed the sport, man.
I
You changed the
appreciate
sport.
it, bro. Much love, man. Thanks for the invitation.
How many? Yeah, you Olympic champion, multiple time world champion.
Yeah.
How many? I mean, you got so much gold, man. How many?
Yeah. So I mean, I just give for those of you guys who don't know me. So I grew up in Jersey. Started wrestling when I was 5 years old. Was a one-time state champ in high school. Wasn't highly recruited. Went to University of Nebraska. And that's when I really hit my stride. Started to grow, develop, mature as a man physically, and learn some technique. Be around great training partners, good coaches. I was a two-time NCAA champ. Graduated in 2011, and so I've been on Team USA for the last 10 years. I've won 4 world championships. I've won 2 world bronze, and I've won an Olympic gold. Right now, my record over the last decade or since 2011 is 183-7 is my record now. So yeah, I mean it's been a good run, bro. It's been a good run, and life's good, man. I can't complain. I get to do what I love. Well, I got to do what I love until this quarantine.
It's this one. I mean, it's crazy the situation, what's going on in the world right now, and
Absolutely.
before we even get into that, man, let me touch on a little bit more on wrestling, and just kind of any college kids, any high school kids watching this that are not knowing what to do, on the fence or where they need to be, or whether they should go to college or wrestle in college. I myself was not very highly successful. I started wrestling in high school. I started wrestling my sophomore years when I started competing.
Crazy.
I went to state one time. I ended up getting third. I thought I was gonna win it. I kind of started hitting that stride like that junior summer. Yep. So when I went to Fargo and really got to feel other kids.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up not winning state. I ended up getting third. But it hurt me so much, and that fire was burning so much inside me. I'm like, no, I'm going to college. I'm going to be a national champion.
That's crazy, though, bro. Your second year of wrestling, you got third in the state.
Third year. My senior year, I got my senior year. Yeah,
third in the state. That's insane. That's insanity, bro.
Yeah, but it is, and then this is kind of my mentality now, because I knew when I made that shift is I went over to Fargo, and like I didn't know nothing about wrestling. I didn't really know all these kids, like and then you're wrestling this kid from Connecticut, you're wrestling this kid from here, and it was like ignorance is bliss sometimes, because I didn't even know these kids. I'm just like,
wrestle, bro. Like,
yeah,
USA Wrestling Magazine. This guy is the man. Like he won this, he won that.
I had no clue who anybody was.
Yep.
I just went and I went first match. I beat this kid. I just beat a kid. I don't know whose name was. And then I go back and I realize, and they're like, yo, that's a 3-time Connecticut state champ.
Yeah.
Word? It was like, yeah. I was like, yo.
I need to move to Connecticut.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I did that. And then, I had some other matches. I had some tough kids that I beat, state champions in Oregon and some other places. But I ended up being like a round or 2 out from All-American. I wrestled like 8 matches, and I was a round out. And I remember when I came back that next year, I was like, I'm beating state champs from Oregon, from Connecticut. Can't nobody touch me here in Texas. I'm gonna win state. And it was just an attitude shift that I changed, and then the way that I trained, and then I focused on what I was actually doing, practice healthy habits, and yeah, it got me to where I was in contention to winning the state title.
For sure. Bro, I've been listening to this book I just started. It's called 10-Minute Toughness. And so now with the 3 kids in the house, it's hard to sit down and read. So I've been getting into audiobooks lately. But anyway, so it talks about how much confidence influences your performance. And not only your performance, but your willingness to train, how hard you train, what you believe, and the confidence that you take out onto the mat, or in your instance, out into the octagon. And so it's super wild, man. I think you've always operated with excellence no matter what. And so the way you talk, your speech, your interviews, every way that you've moved and kind of navigated this landscape has been real smooth and real confident. And so I've just kind of watched from afar.
Thank you from the man who is the poster boy of wrestling.
It's been cool to see, bro. It's been cool to see, because when you guys win, all of us win, right? So as wrestlers and as someone who's remained in the sport for a long period of time, when I see you guys go on and compete at the next level, I'm like, damn, that's super cool. Like I was training side by side with this guy. Like I got to see what it was like before they made the come out. Everybody now, they only know you as like this the guy with the belt. Like, but I remember when we were just like kicking in the calf at the OTC, just like killing.
Man, and that's crazy because you know, a quick story on you. The first time I seen you was you wrestled at the Harold Nichols.
Yep.
And you wrestled my best friend at the time, Aaron Hill.
Nah, it's the dude from Newman. Who was it?
Yeah.
Get the heck. Yo, who mentioned that to me? Someone mentioned that to me the other day. They were like, "Yo, you lost to someone from." Yo, bro, that was. Bro,
so this is the thing. This is the thing is obviously that was that year before you flipped the switch.
Yeah, that was.
And I remember the match, before the match, you know, because I was cornering him, and I'm like, you can't lose to this other brother. You can't lose to him.
Yo, there's only two black people in this tournament. They in the same way. You can't lose to this guy.
You're not losing to this other brother. Nah. And the thing with it, Aaron was very, very talented. You know, he came out of high school. He was a runner-up junior year. Like he was very talented.
Where was he from?
He's from Texas.
Okay. So he's from
Texas. Was very talented. He just decided, I think last minute he decided he was going to go to college and wrestle, so he ended up going to Newman.
Yep.
And I remember the match you guys started wrestling because we didn't know anything about you, and you guys just went at it. And the thing was, I saw the match. He just got really physical. It was a good scrap. Both of you guys, you were being slick and trying to hit him with slick moves, and he was being real physical. And the match ended up, it was pretty close. It wasn't like no blowout, no runaway or nothing. It was close. And then that was that. You know, I was like, you know, you did good. But he ended up getting beat out, I think, like 1 or 2 more matches later. And then I remember the next year, you started stroking everybody. I was like,
yo, what?
Yo! Aaron, you beat him?
Bro, that's crazy, right? You know, it's crazy how there's certain moments in your career where they like spark you with like this, they just fan this flame where you're like, I'm gonna do more. Because like there are plenty of days where you like read a book or you hear podcasts or like you listen to a video on YouTube and it gives you like a brief moment of inspiration where you're like, shit, I'm gonna go train hard, but it's not sustainable. It don't really last. But there are like certain moments that I remember vividly, whether it was someone that was important to me that like poured into me, or there was a particular match that I won, or you know, a guy that I couldn't beat in the wrestling room. I started taking them down, and those things just kind of like sparked, and they just helped me propel. Where I'm like, yo, I can do this. Like I can beat this guy.
And
as well.
Man, it's you're absolutely right, because that's kind of how I was too. Is, you know, when I went in and when I went to college, right away I felt that inferiority complex.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, people always, oh, you got to go D1, you got to go D1. If you're not D1, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. And I felt inferior to where I was. That same tournament, I ended up wrestling. First match, I wrestled a kid from Iowa. T.H. Lee was the starter.
Okay.
I ended up beating him 4-0. Wow. And second match, I wrestled it's like a 2-time champion from University of Wisconsin, like Parkside. I ended up beating him like 5-0. Wow. Third match, I ended up wrestling the Ross Taplin from Omaha, who was also like a 2-time All-American at the time. And I ended up majoring him. I didn't really know who he was. I majored him. Next thing you know, I find myself in the semis with wrestling Travis Paulson.
Of course.
And I'm in the match, and Kale's in his corner. It's Kale. Oh,
like, yo, I don't belong here.
Yes. And I felt inferior. I was like, man, I don't belong here. I can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
So in my mind, and I remember that match like it was yesterday, and Travis is gonna talk trash too, because he always makes fun of me about it. But I remember in that match, I went into the match not to win. I was just like, man, I can't beat this guy because he's Travis Paulson, multiple-time All-American, you know, on national team. Cale Sanderson is in his corner. I can't beat this guy.
That's real.
And we end up, we're wrestling. I'm kind of doing whatever I want, but you know, I'm like, you know, I'm stabbing from the outside. I'm faking him. I'm moving him. And he wants to get his hands on me, but I'm moving the whole time. And the score's tied, I think, 3-3, end of the third period.
Yeah.
We go into overtime. And you know how it is when two dudes is wrestling, like in a lot of your matches, there's a crowd around the mat watching you wrestle.
Yeah.
And they're watching this nobody from this tiny school wrestle Travis in the semis to overtime. And I just remember, and in my mind, I was never in that match to win, because if I would have been there to win, I think I fully believe I would have won.
You went and got it. You got it. And
he ended up taking me down and winning.
That's the mindset shift too. It's like when you're young and you feel that, you're like, yo, if I lose close to this guy, then I'm good too, right? Because he's really good. So if he didn't win me, protect me, major me, beat me by a lot of points, I'm good too. If I really wanted to win, I could have beat him, right? And so putting it on the line really takes a lot of your psyche. But like, look at yourself now. When you step into the ring, there's not a question in your mind that you are capable and that you're willing and you're going to do absolutely whatever it takes. You're like, I will not leave this ring without my belt every single time.
Yes.
I will not let this beat me.
Absolutely. And it was for years. It was years of, and you're right, years of mental battles, winning those mental battles. It starts from practice. You know, it starts from, first of all, kids that are thinking about it, when kids talk to me now, I want to just wrestle. I don't know if I should wrestle, go to college, or I'm like, I recommend you go to college.
Yeah. That's a good.
You know, so many people find themselves in college. Like I found myself when I transferred to Kearney. I found myself. You know, big shout out to, you know, my coaches there, Mark Bauer, Ty Storm, and Joe Ellenberger. You know, these guys poured into me to where I was competing, winning small battles every day, to where I felt like a giant, to where I was like, I was excited to wrestle Division I guys. Like, it's my time. Let's go, you know?
Yeah, man.
And that was just winning those small battles to where I got to the point where in my mind, I was a giant, to where now, even when I step in there, you know, I on that walk to when I get into the cage.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that, right? Because it's so much more of a monumental moment for you guys, right? Like, and for me, that's always the most nervous and nerve-wracking time in my preparation, is when I step there and I'm in the tunnel and I'm in the corner, right? And the smoke starts coming up, right? From the United States of America, 74 kilograms, Jordan Burroughs, right? So in that moment, my opponent's standing next to me. I'm like, my coaches are behind me. They're rubbing my back. They're like, let me know, hey, reaffirming me. You can do this. You're ready. You're trained. You're prepared. You got this. Like, tell me what it's like for you when you walk out to that tunnel, because you guys got a long walk from where you stand all the way out to the arena, and just the people on each side, and then they put the Vaseline on you, your mouthpiece is good. What's that like?
It starts like hours before that. When it's fight day, after you've had breakfast, me personally, I like to get in a hard workout that morning. After I eat, I get a hard workout, hard sweat, because most guys didn't work out the day before because they made weight and just are eating. And so I get a hard workout, good hard sweat. And after I get done, that's when it gets real. I go to my room, I shower. You feel like you need to take a crap, but you know, it's nothing in there.
I'm really doing this.
Yo, my stomach is in my throat. Like I'm like, yo, this is gonna happen. But I've over the years, I've kind of figured out a way to just kind of control those nerves. And I just go in my room and I lay down. I've got a playlist, the exact same music that I like to listen to. And I put that on. I make sure there's no one in the room, because I believe in energy, and I don't want other people's energy around me to affect me, because at the end of the day, when I go to battle, I'm the only one who has to step in there.
That's real.
And so I like to just be in myself. I'm in there. I'm dealing with it. I try to sleep, but I never can. It's not possible, you know. And I'm nervous. I'm extremely nervous, but I'm excited, and I'm anxious as well. And then you know, I usually have my alarm set. It's an hour before, so I get up, I shower again, and then I start getting ready. I put my clothes on, And as soon as I'm getting done putting my clothes on, usually my brother or my manager comes in my room. They knock on the door, and then they come in. And as soon as they come in, I'm usually already halfway there. But by then, I've already told myself, we're going to do this. There's no backing out. We can't run. We can't hide. There's no injuries. We're going to do this. And then it's just clockwork. I get there. I get into the locker room. I then take off my clothes. You know, I take off the business. I take off all the clothes that I wore in, and then now it's like I put on this is business attire. And then that's when stuff really hits the fan, because it's like you start hitting pads and you be fast at practice. Like everything's boom, flowing, moving, but you feel like you.
I love it.
It's like what's happening? What's happening? Why am I so slow? Why do I feel like this? And then you're just nervous. You're nervous because and it's just a not just psychological, but your body knows when it's in danger, when something's about to happen. And so I just go through the warm up, because no matter because you can never really tell how fast you're going to be up, because fights, can end in any time. So they might come in and say, okay, when this fight's done, we'll walk in 10 minutes. It's like, okay. Then boom, fight's over in 18 seconds. It's like, okay.
You're like, oh shit.
Oh damn. Yes. I didn't get a chance to warm up the way I wanted to.
Right? Like if you think it's gonna be 10 minutes and all, it's a freaking 5 rounds, or I don't know if you follow it, but 3 rounds.
But for us, it's usually a benefit, because it's more time for us to warm up, more time for us to get the routine in and everything.
Yeah.
But when they cut it short, it's like,
it's time.
We got to go. And then I usually, my brother's there, and my brother, if you guys don't know, is the biggest hype man. I mean, Superman, like big, huge.
Let's go,
and he's got the voice. He's like, come on, we ready. You ready to do this? I'm like, okay. Sometimes I want to look at him like, chill, bro. But his energy is there to balance everything out. Yeah. And we get out, and then they got to hold us in the tunnel, because then they got to walk us out. And while I'm in the tunnel, one thing that I do, I pace real quick by myself. I pace. And I'm talking to myself in my head every time I pace, and I'm talking to myself. I'm bringing myself back. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back, because I know what's about to happen. As soon as you cross that threshold, when you're in the arena, you're in the stadium, it's very easy for your nerves and your adrenaline, for all the emotions to jump in there, because you've got 20,000 people screaming and cheering and it's very easy to be like, yeah, let's go. And then you get in there an adrenaline dump like that.
So you you want to stay low, like
I get it, and then people will notice too, like the songs that I pick. Like I love hardcore rap and hip hop and really upbeat stuff, even house music. But when I'm going out, I tend not to pick songs like that, because I have to pick songs that center me emotionally. So I'm dancing, and when I'm dancing, I'm not thinking about the walk. I'm just dancing. I'm dancing. Next thing you know, I almost black out right there at that moment. The next thing you know is, all I remember is telling them, put some Vaseline on my lips too. My lips be chapped, put some Vaseline on it. And then they give me a little Vaseline. Yeah. I walk in and I black out again until they say, are you ready? I'm like, can't say no.
The choice now, right?
I got no other choice. Let's go.
I got to be ready.
Yeah, it's the difference that I really noticed between that and wrestling is the fact that it's the fear of the unknown. Because I remember wrestling all those times, and then when I started flirting with MMA, I was always still afraid of going over, because wrestling, we're controlled combat. It's controlled
for sure.
But this, I can't control him. Like, this dude is throwing knees, is throwing elbows, is really trying to hurt me, and I was afraid of that for a long time. And but once I made the shift and I really started to kind of get into it, I got beat up quite a few times.
Of course.
But it was one of those things, after you get beat up and then you make a decision whether you can handle it or not. And I was just like, shit, It was bad, but I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back tomorrow.
So what do you think? What do you need in MMA, contrary to wrestling? Not even contrary. Like what is the mindset shift that you needed to make in MMA to be prepared that you didn't necessarily need to possess in wrestling?
As wrestlers, and especially for you, someone like you get to a certain point to where you're so conditioned and you're so good at what you do and you're so successful at what you do. It's like you're the top dog. You almost kind of get selfish because it's lonely up there. You almost kind of get selfish, like, yeah, I'm top dog. I know how to do this. And then when you get to MMA, it's like starting all over again. You're vulnerable now.
Of course.
And it's I really, and I could, for a lot of times I could wrestle through a lot of the positions. I would take the guys down, jiu-jitsu. I just kind of control them and because we have the best base. If you get beat up too much on your feet, you take them down.
Take them down.
And yeah, and for the longest I could do that. But then I got to a certain point to where Rashad put it on me so bad one day. I was like, no, I can't wrestle through every position. Like, I can't do that. Like, I remember he was on tour. He was like going for like 3 weeks, traveling, doing shows, doing TV stuff. And I was just at the house with myself, and I was just training every day, twice a day. And then he came back in town. The next morning we went to training, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put something on him.
I'm gonna get him. He ain't ready.
I'm gonna get him. He's not ready for what I'm about to give him with.
Yeah.
He came in cold. He didn't really even stretch. He didn't really even warm up like that. He did a little bit, but he came in. We were sparring, MMA sparring. Yo, he beat me so bad, like shots to the face. And then I'm like, okay, I can always take him down. I shot in. He sprawled on me, and he was so heavy. He sprawled, beat me up on the ground bad. We got back up. He took me down, beating on me.
Yo, that's one of those days where you just sit in the locker room for a while, just like, bro, what am I even doing? Right,
bro. It was just I was there. I was there times 10 because I had to ride home with him.
Yeah.
So you get beat so bad. I'm in the car. I'm looking out the window. I can't even look at him. I'm looking out the window like, man, I gotta ride home with this.
Yeah, I'm straight, bro. I'm straight. Don't worry about me. Yeah.
That's exactly what he would do. He would come in the room, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, dog. I'm good. You straight? I'm straight. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, but the mental switch was, I was okay with that. Like, I was okay with knowing that
That's huge,
I wasn't the best.
You need that. It's one of the funny things. So when I was, or just over the last couple of years, I was in this mode where if someone would like get the last takedown on me in practice, or if they would have a real close match with me in a simulation, I would make them wrestle me again.
You top dog.
I'm like, yo, you can't leave. You can't leave the room until I win. I have to leave here as a champion because I'm the best guy in the room. I am going to get the last takedown. I'm going to win. I'm going to widen the gap. So one of our coaches here, our assistant Brian Snyder, he said, hey, listen, like, you are never really feeling the sting of what it feels like to get beat and have to go home throughout the entirety of the night and feel that, and then come back and improve the following day, because you're always leaving with this victory. So whatever mistakes you made in this previous match, why he got the last takedown, why the match was closer than you wanted it to be, you're not really evaluating that because you're leaving with the victory. So you think you won the day, but you really didn't win the day, bro. Like, yeah, you got the last takedown.
Yeah.
So, for me, he was like,
real.
listen, you are not wrestling again. If you get taken down, if you get beat, you're not wrestling again. You're done. You guys break and you come back tomorrow. You can do it again. And so it's just like started to trigger something within me, like trying to figure out how to cope with that energy, like you said, and be okay with it, but then also be motivated to come back the next day and construct changes. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
That's real. That's real, man. That's big. One thing I wanted to ask you, so half of the people on here want to know, JB, what's next? What is next? Is what? MMA in the future? Or are you gonna get in? I see you doing some broadcasting stuff.
Listen, I'm MMA. The weight classes are not constructed for me. I'm a pure tweener. So I wrestle at 163 pounds. You guys got 170, you got 155. So I'm too small for 170. I'm too big for 155. Like I'm literally smack dab right in the middle of two weight classes. Right. So it's not ideal for me. Especially like you're fighting at 170, bro. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. I see Ed Bruce fighting at 170. I'm like, how? How is this possible? I've trained with these guys. I've been these guys are 5'10", 5'11". They weigh, 195, 200 pounds. How are they making this weight? This is insanity.
It's a tough one, but we do it.
But you got a lot at stake, right? Like, you're going to be willing to do a lot for the reward that you get to reap from it, which is the lifestyle and the recognition, financial success. But I mean, I've thought about it. I've considered it. I want to try it just because I like challenges. You know what I mean? So like, I want to see what I'm made of. Like I'd like to just get out there, get locked in the cage and be like, and
take one fight
and just take one fight. Like but here's the scary thing about it, right? If you get beat, you're like, yo, I can't go out like this. I got to get one more. Gotta win. I got to at least have a dub. And then if you win, it's easy. You're like, yo, this is mad easy, bro. I'm coming back. So for me, I'm just like, I'll stay out of it. I keep my nose clean. I'll stay in wrestling. But it's been admirable to watch you guys, and the wrestlers like literally own the UFC, bro. It's been incredible. It's been incredible. And I think
it's great, man.
I chalk it up to, not only you guys great athletes, but the discipline, the mindset, the willingness to, work. I think about it from this perspective. Like if you look at a lot of guys train exclusively MMA now, they didn't really grow up in combat sports, right? So like for us, we went to high school, we wrestled every single day, multiple hours a day. We went to college where there was to be coachable. We had to walk with humility. You spent a ton of time at the OTC with the best wrestlers in the world, coached by Olympic and world champions. Like a lot of guys didn't have that. You know what I mean? They might be brawlers and they might be street fighters. They might be gritty and tough. You can't just tough yourself into the title. Like that's what I think about you is like, not only are you an amazing athlete, but your skill set is on point. So they can never question your abilities and just say, oh, this guy's a great athlete. That's why he wins. I mean, like,
I appreciate that.
They've got to acknowledge the skill.
I appreciate that. And one thing I want to tell you, one thing, it's just once obviously you get older, you get wiser, and I had to really start to realize and just be thankful for all the people all through my life that have motivated me, in a small way. It might just be a little bit passing. People that have motivated me, and so many people have motivated me. I talked to DC last week, and he didn't even know when I was young. He didn't even know what he did for me. Just getting to see him, I spent like maybe 10 minutes talking to him. He didn't even realize what that did for me. And it's crazy, man. Even though I was older than you, when you came in, you motivated me in a way. Now, this story.
I appreciate
and it's something that we it was this one night during one of the team camps. I believe you were still it was going into your senior year, I believe, senior season in college.
Okay.
And or it might have been right after, because you wrestled your first international right after senior year, right?
Yeah.
It was, so I remember it was we had team camp after that. And you came. Everybody was at the OTC, and one night we all went out. It was me, it was you, it was Bunch, and I think Ray J. Yeah, I think Ray J was with us.
Maybe Duran.
Yeah, maybe Duran. So we went out somewhere in Colorado Springs, and I remember that was when you came through. You was shiny. You had the chain with the. It was a black diamonds on it.
Bro,
yeah.
Bro. Yo, bro.
So like you had the chain,
bro.
Yo, you was pushing the red Impala with the rims on it and everything.
I thought I was a boss too,
bruh. I know. I remember we went out because I know you just won. I think it was Uruguay or the tournament, something like that. Yeah. Or Poland or something. You just won a tournament and got some. Remember we were out, and I was I think I said something to you about, man, you better start saving that money because, and I remember, and I had to really think, and this, I'm being honest with you, this, I went over this over and over and over and over in my mind for years of why I even said that. And I remember, and it was because, like, we're living at the OTC, we're all broke. Nobody at the OTC is really getting money like that. We're resident athletes. And I'm like, yo, you save some money, save some money. And I remember you looked at me and you know my boy Sean Bunch like, yo, he's superstar now. He's superstar.
That's Bunch, bro. That is
and
Bunch,
and I remember you looked at me and you said, well, I'll just go make some more. And I was like, it took me a while. It kind of was like, okay. And I was pocket watching, but in a good way. I was pocket watching a little bit, and it stuck with me for a little bit. I was like, you're gonna make some more. Like, we struggling to, like, we go to these tournaments in India, you win that tournament, you maybe get 2,500. You just told me, like,
how hard it is out here.
Yeah, I go make some more.
Yeah.
But it took me some time to really just go to attest to the confidence that you had at that point. That was just the start of your international career. But you had the confidence, like, I'm going to go make money. If I make money, I spend the money, guess what? I'm going to go make some more. And, man, it really that sticks with me in my mind. I was like, man, that's that confidence that I need to have.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I need to go out there knowing that I'm about to get this money. I'm about to go out there and provide for my family. I'm about to win this. And I just carried that with me all throughout, man. So I wanted to let you know that that motivated me so much, at that moment.
I appreciate that, bro. It's crazy because and nothing, right? It's like $1,500, $2,000, right? And now look at what, you stand to make if you continue to perform at this incredible level.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to catch you, man.
But I think for me, I always realize, right? And you want to save, you want to be modest, but there's also a certain standard to live in that I work hard. I want to see the fruits.
Absolutely.
The fruits, and I want to enjoy them. And so, I didn't really know then, but it was the most I ever had, bro. I won the U.S. Open. I'll never forget. I won the U.S. Open my senior year. And I got a check from USA Wrestling for $3,000, the most money I ever had at one time, $3,000. And I had a checking account. It had like $14 in it. I had nothing. And
College,
so I go to the bank, and lady's like, okay, can I see your debit card? Her name's Jordan Burroughs. Need to see your ID. And I'm like, here, I want to cash this check. Signed it up, gave it to her. She's like, hey, do you want to deposit this or you want to cash it? I'm like, cash, straight cash. She's like, you want small or large? Large only. Do you want an envelope? I'm like, nope. And I remember I took it, bro. I laid it out like this, laid all the hundreds out. And I was so hyped. I just folded it up, put it in my pocket, and I was like buying drinks for everybody at the bar that night. Like, I was hyped, bro. I was like, yo, let's go. I was on a college campus buying like $2 Red Bull vodkas for everybody. Like,
yo, that's true.
You come. But it's a beautiful thing too, man, because we all come from modest beginnings. You know what I mean? So, like,
absolutely,
how to operate both ways. Like, I mean, I see that your watch, like, is that Audemars or is that?
It's AP.
Yeah, AP. Okay, Audemars. Yeah. Like, when I see this and I see the classiness in which you established, like, I tell my wife all the time, like, I'm young, I have money, but I had no class, right? So I didn't even know what to buy. You'd have given me this type of money when I was 22. I would have just, like, went and bought, like, stuff that was not really cool, but I thought it was cool at the time. You know what I mean? But I know how to operate both ways. So I know how to survive if I have nothing. I know how to, like, just make things work and make ends meet and be real humble. But I also now gotten like a taste of the good life and all the cool stuff that I like to see. But yeah, man, it's been good, bro. Life's good. I can't complain at all, man. I really like seeing you guys get into the bag though. It's been a fun journey that you're having.
Man, all of us,
bro,
man.
Don't stop, man. Don't stop.
I'm gonna try to ride it as much as possible.
Keep making the bread, man, and taking care of your family. I see your photos all the time with your little girl. She's beautiful.
Thank you.
And so that's fun to see, man.
And your family, man. I just want to say, man, I see how you doing it. Talking about me, yo, you doing it every step. Sometimes I'm like, man, like this dude, he got it. Like like
Yeah.
JB from way back when, he got it.
Life's
You
good.
got a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, man. And I see what you're doing with them and how you're raising them in that culture, and you just being in their life and pouring into them, man. It's very, very admirable. I'm watching you. You inspire me. And I'm thankful that obviously I got to cross paths with you at some point in this lifetime, man. And I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, man, for sure. We're gonna scrap one of these days. We got to get together for a pre-fight camp. Like speaking
Hey,
of
don't
pre-fight,
worry. You coming down when you're not doing something crazy. You coming down for
where
sure.
are you at right now? Where's your training location?
I'm in Florida, South Florida.
Oh, like Coconut Creek?
No, not at Coconut Creek, but we train down here. We have in Deerfield. We got a gym in Deerfield. We also have a gym in Fort Lauderdale. So
Okay.
I'm down here. Everything is all close within 45 minutes from each other. So
Yep.
it's in one place right now. That's not quarantine, really. That's not really not
Oh, so
quarantine
you guys,
like that.
you're still in the gym. You're still training.
I mean, I'm training. Not the whole team. We're not just in there sweating, and
We're
we're
not all
not
the
gonna
same.
take no chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still get the work in, whether it's in the gym or out of the gym. I'm still getting the work in. So
what's
yeah,
next for you? What's this look like? What's this quarantine do for you in terms of like your athletic career? Like, is this,
It's actually that's a good question. I was just thinking about that on the drive back home. I just went and saw my chiropractor, just maintenance stuff, and I was coming back. I'm like, man, this is a blessing in disguise because I'm not going crazy on my body. Like, I'm not running here doing this, going to this shop and that shop, seeing this and that. I get to just maybe work out in the morning at home or somewhere, and then I'm back home. That's all I do. That's all I've been doing throughout my whole career, and now that's what we're doing. And people are complaining. I'm like, yo, this is normal for me.
this is kind of go. This is working for me.
This is working, man.
Yeah, man.
But man, I'm really I'm interested to see. I want to see your story, your life unfold, to where the people, because a lot of people don't necessarily even know it. I know, a good buddy of mine, I don't know if you know who Will Harris production is, Anatomy of a Fighter.
Okay.
He does, and I mean, obviously you embody everything that a fighter is.
Yeah.
And, I'm anxious to see how someone like that would put your story together. I mean, it would be legendary.
Yeah, man,
So,
that'd be cool. Yeah, man. I'm not sure when it's over for me, bro. I honestly don't know, especially with the Olympics being pushed back an additional year.
yeah. You
And
got another cycle in you.
I feel good, right? I'm 31. I'll be 32 in July.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel healthy. I'm gonna keep riding as long as I can. I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna just
All
go.
right. All right, my brother. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, man.
All right, man.
Like I said, man, I'm watching everything. I'm
Thank
watching.
you.
All right, my man. Thanks for
Much
coming on,
appreciated,
bro.
bro. Yes, sir. Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
All right, everybody. That was the one and only Mr. All I See Is Gold. And real quick, like, that name, I remember when he picked that, like, he just, because Instagram and Twitter became kind of hot, like when we were like getting out of college. And he got his Twitter as soon as I moved to the Olympic Training Center, he got a Twitter when he started competing. And I remember him putting that as he hit everybody in the chest with that one when he picked that name. I was like, word? That's how you do it? That's what you feel? And my man was nothing but gold. Those first few years was nothing but gold. I was like, okay, well, I guess we know now why he picked that name. He knew what he was gonna do. He knew what he was destined for, and he made it happen. And a special guy for what he's done for wrestling worldwide, not just in this country but worldwide. So, we're thankful for him, and I'm glad. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat with him. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Another special guest coming soon.